works, it's effective. You're not a bad person in and of yourself. Okay. But a person can't say he's not Jewish. He's allowed to change his clothing at the time of such a decree. Well, I should put it this way. This is important to say. You don't have to say you're Jewish. You're not allowed to say you're some other religion. In other words, a person asks you during the Holocaust, "Are you Jewish?" You can say no. What you're not allowed to say is, "I'm a Christian." Now, I'm not saying this came halacha l'maaseh this way of paskin, because the reading this out of this sefer here, and then I'm sure there are many other opinions which we would take into account if we gave a shiur on what happened in that ultimate situation. But the issue is it's not saying you're not Jewish. That's okay. It's saying that you're affiliated with another religion, which is the problem. Okay, that is the issue of accepting some other form of religion upon oneself. That is what's prohibited. So therefore, you're certainly allowed to change your clothing at the time when there is a persecution of the Jews, because you're not saying that you're belong to another religion. And also you can say to them something which has a double meaning, right? That they'll understand that you're a Christian, but you really mean something else. And you also to allow, of course, to deceive them, to get them to believe on their own that you are not Jewish, that you're some other religion. So he brings down here he brings down also that if there is an improper tax levied by the non-Jew, customs duty, so you're allowed to lie and say that this, let's say, for example, you have a slave, the Gemara says, and a slave you have to pay taxes. You're allowed to lie and say he's my son, in order to prevent yourself from having to pay the customs duty on transporting a slave. You're not allowed. So a person is generally speaking not allowed to learn Torah Sheba'al Peh with a non-Jew. Now, of course, this means specifically things which are halachic, and things which if the non-Jew, excuse me a second, things where the non-Jew is not threatening to kill you. If the non-Jew says, "Teach me your Torah," or else, then you're allowed to learn with him. Generally speaking, Torah which has to do with morality, with ethics, with all those kind of things, you're allowed to learn with a non-Jew. Just things which are strictly halacha, which are not relevant to a non-Jew, which you're not allowed to learn with them. But if you have to learn with them because they threaten you, so then you can distort a little bit by not saying everything. But you can't distort the actual halacha. And this is the Gemara in Bava Kama. Well, actually, it's not the Gemara. The Marshal says in Shiyam Shel Shlomo, you're not allowed to be mezayef, falsify Torah, because then it's as if you're denying the truth of Torah. So you have to, even though it's uncomfortable, the case over there was a case where an ox of a Jew gores the ox of a non-Jew. So we're parted from paying. We're exempt from paying altogether, according to our law. So the question is why they taught that to the non-Jews. So the answer of the Marshal is that you cannot falsify Torah precepts. But there are different opinions about that, and a lot of poskin that in a pinch where there is some sort of pikuach nefesh, then you are allowed to distort that Torah. Sorry? Did I catch the word Chil Hashem? I'm sorry, I really can't hear. Is anybody hearing? No?
Okay, fine.
Just a lot of static. I can't hear it, the voice.
Yes, and here, this guy you're too close to the microphone. Try to position yourself further from the cell phone. whoever speaking questions.
Did you get that? Whoever was asking the question?
Yes, it's towards the guy which asking question. Rabbi Hofer, you fine? You okay?
Okay. So the and here's interesting halacha, which is that even where you're doing kiruv, right? Somebody's not from, you can't permit them that which is usher. You can tell them, try your best and take things on in stages, but you can't actually tell them things which are usher mutter. A specific case which I remember is that my Rosh Hashiva in Shalvim, was dealing with a non-Orthodox couple who were going to get married, and they said they would want to learn all the laws of Nida Doraisa, but not the Rabbanans. And for those of you who know the laws of Nida, the Doraisas are much easier than the Rabbanans. And so he asked from Shlomo Zalman Auerbach, is he allowed to teach them only the Doraisas and not the Rabbanans? So he said, Rosh Shlomo said, no, you're not allowed to. We don't have two Torahs, the Doraisa and the Rabbanan. We only have one Torah. So therefore, you have to teach them both. You can tell them, okay, if you're not ready for it, then, do it in stages, but you're not allowed to say that something is the differentiate between the Doraisa and the Rabbanan, and in a way which implies that you can keep the Doraisas and not keep the Rabbanans. He gets now into how we deal with even though you're not allowed to lie to a goy under normal circumstances. In one cases you're allowed to, which are relatively few and it's not really permitted under any significant circumstance. That's generally the principle of Gnevas Das. You're not allowed to steal the das, meaning the knowledge, wisdom, or what's good for a person by deceiving them, and that Gnevas Das, just like we say, you're not allowed to steal from a non-Jew money, so to not allowed to do Gnevas Das, which is to steal from them their knowledge of what's true and what's not true. So I think that we're going to stop with this limud here at this point, because most of the rest of the stuff is repeats what we learned in various different forms. Over the course of the next week, we have to decide what we're going to do next, and I'm willing to accept suggestions as to what to go to and what the series or topic to start. Otherwise, I will determine a topic on my own. So feel free to contact me. You can text me at 845-216-1617, 845-216-1617, and or you can call me, or you can email me at ygbeckofer, 2 H's and 1 F, at gmail.com, and then we'll take it from there. Everybody should have a good yontif and a meaningful Kabbalah Satorah.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Good Yom Tov.
Yontif.